PMK for those tasks, and your likelihood to be drawn as a juror is proportional to the amount of token you stake in a particular court. So you can say, okay, I want to solve those disputes in favor of humanity. You stake some tokens, and then after that, you're going to be drawn. And when you are drawn, if you vote currently with the final result, you get some arbitration fees. You get also some tokens if some other juror lost some token. And then if you vote incorrectly, you are losing a bit of token. So you have some direct, immediate economic incentive in doing your job properly. So even if you do your job properly, sometimes you may not be coherent with the final result. But if you are voting randomly, you're accepting bribe, on average, you will be incoherent way more often than if you are doing your job properly. So that's the incentive for you to work properly.
What was your way of thinking that you didn't limit the jurors to be actual official jurors in their own jurisdictions, and you allowed other people to take that role? How is that safe?
Also, just you couldn't, like, okay, now you get stuff like Power of Humanity where you can try to verify people. When you started Claros, you had no way to verify people. Like, the only thing that you could do to prevent the civil attacks, the civil attack is what happened if someone registered a lot of times, was to use a token weighting mechanism to draw people. So that's first come out of necessity, because like on-chain, no one knows if you are a cat, or more likely, no one knows if you are a bot or if you are a real human behind your computer.
Right. Yeah.
In for most cases that we are targeting, like, you don't need to be a specific, like specialized. Like, sometimes you can be specialized. In this case, you have some code, you have some special rules, you have some special requirements. Even if you don't fulfill the requirements, you can always take into scope, but then you're going to be incoherent because you are not going to understand anything. So you don't need to vet people beforehand. Instead of vetting people, you can put economic incentive into making sure that if someone doesn't know what they are doing, that's not going to be profitable for them. So they're not going to do it in the first place, or even if they try to do it, they're going to see it's not profitable for them, and then they're going to stop to do it. And I think that's probably where we're going to go. Like, like our parents, grandparents, they really have like this. They tend to be working for a company. They have a fixed salary. They have to apply somewhere. So that would be like one of the classic kind of work that they had. I think now we are getting more and more in a permissionless work economy.
Yeah.
So it's not completely permissionless. Like, if you look at like Uber or Bolt or whatever, driver or deliveries, it's not completely permissionless. They are still checking people a bit, but it's only a bit. Like, you keep seeing stories of people not having papers, like bribing someone else to get an account or something like that. So we are not completely permissionless, but we are getting way less permission than we were before. Like, now you don't need to pass an interview and show some resume. Maybe you need to show an ID now, like, in the way the work is moving. So I think it's going to continue to move into this direction, where we will be moving into permissionless work, where you don't necessarily, well, you will still have some position, like, it's not never going to completely disappear. And I think you will have a large part of the economy, which would be permissionless work, where you don't apply, you just do the work. When you are doing the work properly, you get reward. If you're not doing the work properly, you get nothing, or perhaps even penalties. We can see that also at Keros cooperative, when we are, for example, doing smart contract security. When you do smart contract security, you have the classic, you take an auditor, you can do that. But instead, or in addition to that, what you can do, you can make an audit competition. So you put a smart contract for everyone to see, and if someone finds some bugs in it, well, they get paid. And that's completely permissionless. Like last time, like for CIR, for example, you had like something like 100 people who participate in the competition. They go, most of them are probably very low level security professional, or maybe they are just a bit interested into smart contract. And some are going to be very good auditors. And the ones who are very good auditors are going to be way more likely to find vulnerabilities and then get paid. But the one who is not specifically a good auditor, well, like, if he came here, got lucky, or like had a good breakthrough this particular day, well, okay, he's gonna find the vulnerability and he's gonna be paid. While if you were in a credential-based system, you would never have reached this stage in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. Changing the gears, let's say the last question I will ask probably will be after this one. This is going to be a big one, and it will be repeated in these series of interviews. Is that we're in 2034, what we've been able to accomplish. But the question before that, your take on network states, what's working, what's not, and how you think Claris can be one of the key ecosystems to be involved in every strong player in this direction, in this initiative.
Yeah, so I really like the network state. I know it's controversial because Balazs is controversial in some way, like he's clearly in a particular kind of like a US political position. But the main take of the network state is not like, oh, we need a state to do what Balazs like. It's not that. The main take of the network state is we need to be able to experiment more at the state level. One quote of the book that I really like is he say that currently it's like if every time you were to write a book, you had to erase some page of another book. And that's the way where you have state right now. Like right now, you don't have any new state creation. If you want to make a new state, you can't really make a new state. You have to take control over another state. And you can see that. Like you can see that. Like this conflict where you have like it's read in some way. Can be seen as a precursor of a network state. It's not a network state, but it's a precursor in some way. And they couldn't really get their state from scratch. They kind of like had to erase another state, which were not necessarily a state, which were people already living there, right? So that's pretty bad.